All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to take the absolute essentials of 401ks for dummies and distill them down for you in under 8 minutes. Our goal? To help you secure your financial future and turn what feels like a giant, intimidating mountain of financial paperwork into a super clear roadmap for building actual wealth.
So we are diving straight into this authoritative guide, and you know what makes this specific source so incredibly cool? It's co-authored by Ted Benna. This guy is literally the architect, the actual creator of the very first 401k savings plan back in the early 80s. So we're getting the inside scoop on how these accounts work right from the source.
It's the ultimate keep-you-up-at-night question, isn't it? Will you have enough money to retire comfortably? Well, here's the hard truth. Social Security was just never meant to cover the whole shebang. And traditional pensions? Yeah, they're largely a thing of the past. The burden of building an adequate nest egg falls squarely on your shoulders. But hey, don't panic, because you've got the exact right tool for the job.
Okay, so how big does that nest egg actually need to be? A really solid rule of thumb to anchor your goals is aiming to build a balance that's roughly 10 times your pre-retirement annual income. So, say you plan to retire earning $100,000 a year, your target is a cool $1 million. I know, it sounds like a massive number, but let's break down exactly how a 401k makes this totally doable.
Part 1. The 401k advantage and getting that free money.
This is where the math gets really fun. When you put money into a traditional 401k, it goes in pre-tax. That means it lowers your taxable income right off the bat. So think about it. If you invest $120 towards your future, your actual take-home pay only drops by $96. You are instantly up $24 that would have otherwise gone straight to the government. It's basically semi-forced savings, and it is beautifully efficient.
But wait, it gets better. A lot of employers offer a matching contribution. Listen to me on this one. You have got to contribute at least enough to get that maximum employer match. If your company matches 50 cents on the dollar up to 6% of your salary, you put in that 6%. If you don't, you are literally leaving free money on the table.
Moving right along to Section 2, the working years, and the absolute powerhouse that is compound interest.
You really got to wrap your head around the staggering cost of waiting. Imagine two people, right? They both invest just $1,000 a year at a 9% return. The one who starts at age 25 ends up with nearly $338,000 by age 65. But the person who waits just 10 years and starts at 35, they end up with only about $136,000. Simply waiting a decade costs you over $200,000. The earlier you start, the less of your own cash you actually have to put in.
Now I get it. Trying to balance today's bills, like figuring out how to put kids through college while saving for some distant retirement, feels like solving an impossible puzzle. It's tough, but you just have to start, even if it's small. Time is the one asset you absolutely cannot get back. Get that money working for you as soon as humanly possible.
Which brings us to Section 3, navigating choices and managing your investment risk.
Because just stashing cash under the mattress isn't gonna cut it. You have to invest it within your 401k to actually beat inflation. But how do you choose? Well, you gotta know your personal risk tolerance. I absolutely love this analogy from the book, the Toast Retrieving Risk Tolerance Test. Are you the super safe type who patiently waits for the burnt toast to pop up? Or are you the wild risk taker poking at it with a wet metal butter knife? Your risk tolerance dictates exactly how you should be investing.
And you manage that risk by diversifying, basically baking an asset allocation pie. You want a solid mix. Stocks for that aggressive long-term growth, bonds to act as a shock absorber when the market gets bumpy, and some cash equivalents. If you're young, load that pie up with stocks. Then, as you get closer to retirement, you just tweak the recipe to swap in more stable bonds.
All right, Section 4, changing jobs and avoiding some seriously costly mistakes.
When you move around in your career, there are traps everywhere that can wreck your nest egg. Never load up purely on your own company's stock. I mean, just remember what happened to the folks at Enron who had all their eggs in one basket. But the absolute biggest wealth destroyer? Cashing out your account early when you switch jobs. Don't do it. You'll get hit with massive taxes and a brutal 10% early withdrawal penalty. It completely derails your compounding train.
So what do you do instead? You do a rollover, always. It's a direct transfer of your 401k money from your old plan straight to a personal IRA or your new employer's plan. By doing this, the IRS doesn't get to take a bite, and your money just keeps right on growing tax-deferred.
And finally, Section 5, Life After the Gold Watch, managing your actual retirement.
Once you hit retirement, the whole game flips.
You're no longer building the nest egg up, you're carefully draining it down without running out of cash before you run out of time. So, how much can you safely spend? Well, the famous Trinity study suggests you should aim to withdraw only 3 to 4% of your balance each year. Pull out 6 or 7%, and you seriously risk outliving your money. Slow, steady, and disciplined is absolutely the name of the game here.
At the end of the day, securing your future really boils down to this simple mantra. Save as much as you can, as early as you can, and invest it sensibly. You don't need to be some crazy day trader. It's just about discipline, grabbing that free employer match, and letting compounding do the heavy lifting over the decades. So what step are you going to take today for your future? If you enjoyed this, subscribe to In 8 Minutes and never miss what matters.